I am the Doctor, this is my section. Earth is under my protection. Planet of birth is Gallifrey. I've got two hearts, your life is saved. Run into the Master Raw Missy. Come on, Alonzo. Alonzi. I am a Time Lord. No, I'm not rich. 12 bodies a man. Now it's time for a switch. Don't look like that. I'm in great health. You were expecting someone else? Regeneration. Oh, such fun. When I say run, run, run. What's up, my boy? Peace and sanity. Sorry, mustache. Reverse the polarity. Sometimes I'm north, but always a limey, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Jump in the TARDIS, go for a ride. It's bigger on the inside. Exploring all of time and space. Oh, what's that? Exterminate.
Cybermen or Daleks, maybe.
Would you like a jelly baby? Time's ticking, we'd best go. A new adventure, Geronimo. I am fantastic, so are you. Best come with me. I'm Doctor Who. Welcome to a brand new episode of D4WH. I am your host. Oh, it broke your heart when you realised what I actually was.
Aww.
I'm Adam O'Sullivan.
It did break my heart.
I'm so very sorry. Joined as always by my co-host, look at you now, hosting a Doctor Who podcast. How did you ever come to this? Oh, that's right, me!
I've hit the bottom. I've hit the bottom and I'm still digging.
Oh, fantastic. This is rock bottom, baby.
Rock bottom.
It's Nicchia Shoot. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, despite the fact that I had to watch this episode. I'm good.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Anyway, we'll get there. Please welcome our guest. Whoever thought we'd miss Bill Gates? It's improviser Chloe Georiga from Full Head Foils.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
You got a Bill Gates reference.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, but I'll take it.
I had a look at the quotes for the episode, and they're all about killing and death and stuff.
Yeah.
This was the least killy death quote that I could find, so I chucked it in.
Yeah.
But the thing is, sorry, about this episode, as much as I love the action, I still get bamboozled by the tech stuff. I just watch it and just nod. So it probably just went way over my head.
Well, I think that's the point.
Yeah.
Half the time, the stuff in Doctor Who is stuff that is important, and the other half is just stuff that they made up, basically.
Yeah, they just sort of reversed the polarity and made it timey-wimey. They're kind of phrases that they use and you go, well, that
Yeah, they
won't
don't
work.
patronise the viewer in the sense where I don't have a clue.
Yeah. It's actually totally fine if you don't understand what they're talking about. It's funny because there's a Doctor Who wiki, where you can go and look at different parts, and half of the techno stuff leads to a page that goes, this was mentioned in this one episode, and never again.
Yeah. And doesn't make sense.
Yes.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but the good thing is they chuck all this stuff in, and then later on, if someone's like, well, actually, I'm going to turn that into a thing, they can.
Yeah.
I know. And this episode was just screaming out, reset button, right from the get-go.
Oh, anyway, before we get straight into the episode, as we always do with brand new guests, Chloe, what is your history with Doctor Who?
Okay, well, I actually have some notes because I really intensely remember the first time I watched a Doctor Who episode.
Oh, awesome.
So it was 2005 and it was in a holiday caravan park in Weymouth, UK.
Ooh.
And my dad was a massive Who fan, like the old school. And this is when the Christopher Eccleston episodes were coming out and there was a lot of hype in England and my dad was like, oh, we got to stay in the caravan and watch the new Doctor Who.
Oh, that's great.
So
That would be me.
That's
yeah,
so awesome.
so 2005, I was 13. So I think I was just the right age. And I was a bit of a nerdy theatre kid. So I obviously really enjoyed it. And then I was just an intense fan for the David Tennant series. And then I sort of fell out of it, Matt Smith, because I think I've pinpointed that David Tennant as Doctor Who was my sexual awakening.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Hello.
That was about my third sexual awakening.
Yeah. And I think if you were 13 when Matt Smith was the Doctor, he was your sexual awakening. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, big fan of the Tennant episodes especially. So I was so...
please let us know if Peter Capaldi was your sexual awakening.
No, I missed those ones.
Any listeners out there? And Jodie Whittaker might be a sexual awakening for some people.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, what I remember about this episode is that I didn't want to miss it. So Dave and I were at a wedding reception. We went back to the hotel, our room, watched it, and then came back to the wedding reception, and everybody's like, oh, I know what you two have been doing. I go, no, you don't.
Yeah, we've been watching Doctor Who. Is that a code for something? No, we literally watched Doctor Who.
Yep,
and then we fucked.
Yeah. And then we were too excited to have sex.
Oh, that's great. That's so awesome.
Yeah, funny.
I don't remember where I was when I watched this episode, but I do remember being very excited about it, having just found out who the Master was. Like, oh my God, it connects to classic Who. But yeah, David Tennant was my Doctor as well. So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No sexual awakening. Although Rose, I had a huge crush on Rose.
Oh,
so.
my goodness.
How could you not? My husband has always had a crush on Amy Pond.
Yeah,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
He's mad for Amy.
Sure.
I
sure.
kind of felt bad for Freema Agyeman, though, with Martha.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
totally.
she took over
Me
from
too.
Billie Piper, who is, like, iconic, really, in the...
Basically given the
role.
exact same role, really.
Yeah.
The companion who's in love with the Doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the writing treated her poorly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then you saw these moments of brilliance, like in the human nature one and in this one where, the character's quite strong.
And
but-
she does so much in a year.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah,
in this
totally.
episode. I mean,
Well, so does the Master. Build whole factories in a
Yeah.
year. Like, Jesus.
I know. He's obviously got a very committed workplace.
I need that
workforce.
productivity in my life. If I could
Yeah,
do all that shit in a year.
Yeah. Well, but I think Freema Agyeman's done pretty well for herself recently. So,
Oh, yeah. She has.
I'm glad. I'm happy for her. She deserves it
yeah.
after.
Our episode today is Last of the Time Lords, Series 3, Episode 13. Directed by Colin Teague, with uncredited partial contribution by Graham Harper, and written by Russell T. Davies. Originally aired on the BBC Saturday, June 30th, 2007. We start as we always do with a short synopsis. 1 year after the events of The Sound of Drums, the Master is preparing for war with the rest of the universe to establish a new Time Lord empire. Martha Jones has been travelling the world to try and find a way to stop the Master. In the end, it will be the Master against the Doctor, but who will end up being the last of the Time Lords?
I mean, I like the fact that a lot of times there's the threat that I'm going to take over the world, whereas this one, it's happened.
Yeah.
And he started to ruin things. And as soon as they said 1 year later and he'd ruined things, I went, they're going to reset.
yeah.
Just pick it.
There's no way people are going to forget a whole year where,
Yeah.
But it's interesting because, this was my first introduction to the Master, and you think, oh my God, it's the Doctor's nemesis. And now we've gone back and started watching some of the classic episodes, and it's like, oh my God, the Master in the classic episodes was so low tier.
So what's he like in the old episodes? Because I don't have a reference
A
point.
bit shit.
Yeah, in one episode he tried to delay the Magna Carta. That was his plan.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah. And he doesn't outthink him. He just has like a device that shrinks people.
Oh, that's
So,
what you need, right?
I'm going to take over the world. Shrink.
Yeah.
Go, well, it's not much of a plan, really, is it?
Yeah.
Take your shrinky thing away and you're screwed. But he will hypnotize people to follow him around, which is why I assume his wife is doing his bidding, although that's never explained.
No, and I must say, John Sim is a fantastic casting choice.
Yeah, insane,
He just looks like a guy who is like, I'm just going to have the time of my life
Totally.
playing this role.
He really looks like he is having fun.
Yeah, and he does not give a shit.
No.
And in the episode before, I actually wrote a note about it because it cracked me up so much. Oh, something said to him, and he just goes like thumbs up.
Yeah. Yes. It's interesting that all the
respect
humor
you.
in this episode comes from the crazy megalomaniac,
Oh, yeah.
So brilliant.
But it works.
Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Totally.
You're really drawn to whenever he's on screen. Even though you're going, I don't want him to win, you're kind of going, he's kind of cool.
I know
isn't
he's going to lose, but I hope he doesn't lose too badly.
Yeah.
I almost just didn't want. There was that bit where David Tennant in the prospectus crawls out of that little tent,
Yeah.
and the Scissor Sisters. I don't care if you should live or die. And I'm like, this is like the sassiest villain ever. And there's that part of you like.
Now that you've mentioned that, there are two versions of this episode. I assume Nicchia, you watched the streaming?
Yes.
Yes, so Nicchia and I watched the streaming version, but there's also a broadcast version, which I also watched, and which Chloe watched.
Right.
So the broadcast version, the original broadcast version in the UK was 5 minutes longer, and then they edited it down for the international market, presumably because they probably couldn't get the rights for the Scissor Sisters song. And that's the episode that is now on all the streaming services. So most people who didn't watch the original broadcast or don't have the DVDs will have watched the edited version.
Oh, without the Scissor Sisters.
Without the Scissor Sisters. Because I watched it thinking,
you're right.
where was the Scissor Sisters?
Yeah.
And then I rewatched the episode, the broadcast version. I was like, oh, there it is. So I will point out the scenes that were cut for the shorter one. Our first cut is right at the start of the episode after the theme song. There's a cute little animation at the start where a voice tells people to avoid Earth as it is currently heading towards terminal extinction. Whilst cute, it kind of undermines the later references that the rest of the universe doesn't know what's happening on Earth.
Yeah. So I have a lot of issues with this particular episode where they've left things dangling. They do things that don't make sense. You know, they don't explain what's been going on with the wife because suddenly she shoots him. Why?
Well, she does have a bruise over her eyes, and I think the
think he
insinuation.
beats her.
Yeah. Which is
There's nothing like a little domestic violence in Doctor Who.
Well, it's all fun and games, but if you start, beating your wife, it's like, okay, you're a real villain then.
Yeah, you start breaking that down and really thinking about it. The Master really is an asshole.
Oh yeah,
my
totally.
God, yeah.
Yeah, as much as you think, oh, he's funny and stuff. No, there's some serious shit going on.
He is actually
with this guy.
unhinged. Yes,
But they could have nuanced it a bit more, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think that they'd make that choice this time.
No.
But yeah, it was in that time a choice that they made, and yeah. But it is quite I remember not thinking much about it at the time and then watching it again going, oh, okay, that's dark.
Yeah.
That's like really dark for Doctor Who.
1 year later, Martha Jones has returned to the UK by dinghy. She has been sailed around the world and apparently is the only person to get out of Japan alive. So we know that the Master isn't a Japanophile. Those incels were probably fine with the Master taking control until he took their anime away.
That's exactly right. What I have decided is that I would do Martha's job if everybody who was my contact was as good looking as the guy, who is now the lead actor in Lucifer.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, I know him
He's
from
Welsh.
Miranda. If anyone,
yes.
over here.
Yes.
He did look familiar.
The awkward, dorky chef guy who ends up getting with Miranda. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, he's definitely not that in Lucifer.
No, I've heard.
I've watched a little bit of Lucifer and I'm like, I know this guy from somewhere, and I had to look it up, and I went,
Yeah, well, Martha seems super into him, so I doubt that her contacts the rest of the world have been as hot as him, because she is like, at one point she's just like, is there a Mrs. Milligan?
Yeah.
It's like, this is the apocalypse.
Hey,
Can you
on. It's been a long apocalypse.
I understand.
Okay?
And I kind of love that this whole episode as well, like all the serious themes, but it was like Martha is like come back and she don't need the Doctor no more. She's been to all these places in a year, and like obviously amalgamates her at the end then being like, I need to leave you. So I was like,
Although there is a cut scene just after she meets Tom Milligan where she talks about, I'm traveling with another doctor, because he says he can travel because he's a doctor. Mm-hmm. So there's just a very short scene, but she does say, oh, great, I'm traveling with a doctor. So.
Oh, well, I'm glad that that's not in there. But yes, I do. I think after a year of that, don't mind the PTSD she'd be suffering. There should at least be one good-looking contact along the way that you want to get it on with, I'd say.
Yeah.
So.
Well, she's the legend Martha. She could rock up to a refugee camp and be like, I am Martha, I need water, food, and your hottest single man.
a legend within 365 days.
Yes.
It's honestly, like, watching it as a teenager, you don't register how short a year is.
Yes.
And it was honestly the first thing I thought the second watching this episode. I was like, how have you walked across the States, come from Japan in a dinghy, become a legend in exactly 365 days?
But her legend precedes her as well. So the people are communicating that. She had to get a dinghy across to England, and yet somehow they're getting communications across,
because somebody's on the the Telegraph going, hey, Martha, she's a bit of a legend.
She's a legend. Also, not too bad on the eyes, if you know. Send your hottest.
She's in a dinghy right now, coming now.
She's in a dinghy, and boy, is she thirsty.
You think there was all the contacts, all the spies got together and they fought it out to see who could.
They were like, no, not hot enough. No, not hot enough. We're talking models, people. Give me your models.
You're going to be starring in Lucifer. You can do it. Yeah, he was a different character again in Miranda, wasn't he?
Yeah, just completely.
No, surprisingly, he didn't play Lucifer in Miranda.
I find that weird.
The cute comedy show about Miranda Hart.
Strange.
That would be amazing.
What
though.
were they thinking?
Miranda being like, I can't balance my life. Hi, I'm Lucifer. Oh, fuck.
Sign me up, baby.
Yeah, different show.
Yeah. Then we have perhaps our most devastating cut on the airship Valiant. The Master wheels around the Doctor in a wheelchair whilst I Can't Decide by the Scissor Sisters plays.
Yes.
Oh, so great.
So
That
good.
is so cool.
Yeah.
And the popularity for the song went up after this episode, and I'm not surprised. It's a fucking banger of a song. I loved it. I hope I stuck it on my playlist after I watched this episode. So
I still say the best out of the two-parter is Voodoo Dolls.
sure.
Voodoo Dolls?
Voodoo Child, yeah.
Voodoo
Voodoo
Child,
Child,
yeah,
yeah.
that's it. Voodoo Child.
By the
Yeah.
Rogue Traders was the
Rogue
name.
Traders,
That's right.
that's it. God, that's been annoying me.
Yeah.
Because ever since last week when we were doing it, I've been going around, here come the drums, here come the drums.
No, I love the song because if you listen to the whole song, it's literally a song about trying to kill someone. The different ways you would murder someone. And then it's not like there's a moral quandary. It's not like he's like, oh, I don't know if I can kill you. The reason he doesn't know if he wants to kill him is because he's like, if I kill you and I don't do a good enough job, you will come back and murder me. Like, it's such a beautiful, it's a great
Oh,
tongue
the
in
Scissor Sisters,
Yeah, the Scissor
yeah.
Sisters song. It's such a great tongue-in-cheek song. I mean, most of their songs were tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great song.
And it felt like a really grown up part of the episode as
Yeah.
well. It was just so different. I think obviously Doctor Who has that beautiful orchestral music all the way through, which is just stunning and sets the mood. And I remember just watching that scene and then rewatching it yesterday and was just like, this is really cool. And it was like a real contemporary moment. And I was like, and John Sim just acting like a complete
Oh, God.
Psycho,
lunatic.
yeah.
I love when they put in the pop culture references and the modern songs.
Yeah.
You know, I just think it works. And Russell T Davies was really good at doing
Oh,
that.
yeah. I felt very lucky to watch a Russell T Davies episode because his writing is just brilliant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Master wheels the Doctor up to a window and they watch the Toclophane fly past. The Master wants to know why Martha has returned back to the UK because apparently the information has instantly reached a flying aircraft. The Doctor gives Martha's mum the signal to move at 3 and she passes it through Martha's family, eventually reaching Captain Jack, who is locked up below deck. I assume at one point they would have discussed the plan somehow.
Why did it take him a year to come up with that shit plan?
3. Oh, okay, sure. We're going to do something at 3, apparently.
What have they? Is this the same plan they've been doing every week?
Yeah, like a daily occurrence.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing it again.
Oh, this one again.
Jack's dead.
No, because when he does get the laser screwdriver, he's surprised, being like, "Oh, it's isometric." Like in the past year, the Master hasn't once revealed, "Oh, you'll never be able to take my laser screwdriver because I'm the only one who can use it."
Or he's never tried to take it.
Yeah.
What's he been doing? Crosswords? I mean,
I must admit, though, I did like that bit because as much as I love David Tennant as the Doctor, he has a real sense of knowing a lot of the time. You know, sometimes where they put it and he'll be like, yeah, it's this. Yeah, it's that. So it was quite nice to be like, you don't know everything.
Yeah.
It was actually quite a nice moment and makes it more believable about science fiction TV shows.
sometimes it's good when they're stumped, I think.
Yeah.
You want them to eventually go, I know, but when they start really early with, I know what's going on, you're like, oh, well, I'll leave then. Tell me how it turns out.
Although the Doctor in one day does say to the Master, I need you to hear this like 3 times in a day. Times that 3 times per day by 365 days.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
You'd be like, shut up. Stop telling me I need to hear this.
I've got to say, I'd be hitting the Doctor, not Lucy. But anyway.
We see a statue of the Master, and he's even carved himself into Mount Rushmore. Considering Mount Rushmore was created as a tourist attraction, I'm not sure it'll be doing its job considering there are no tourists anymore.
No, I don't imagine anyone's picnic, anyone?
Yeah, and Martha's also managed to get there within that 365
Yes.
days, have a look, and then carry
Her
on.
walking across America reminds me of Forrest Gump. Like, you can just imagine at one point they meet up halfway through, like, Martha, Forrest, yep.
I think it would only be funnier if Martha had got to Rushmore and put glasses and a mustache on the master as she leaves.
That's why she's a legend.
Yeah.
The master is building rockets out of any scrap metal he can find. Russia hosts over 100,000 rockets, which, considering we're later told that the master has 200,000 rockets, means Russia has half of all the rockets.
Well,
Lucky Russia.
bloody Russia. You just knew they'd fall in with the baddies, didn't you?
I mean, America has a lot of space, but, you know, they have Mount Rushmore. So.
Yeah.
The master is planning war with the universe to establish a new Time Lord empire, although not sure how he's supposed to do that with just himself and the Doctor, who he constantly tortures.
Yeah, so what is he going to, mate with his wife and have half human, half Time Lord?
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like a silly plan.
This was the point in the episode where I was just like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was what caused me to watch the episode before, because I was like, have I missed something?
No,
here?
it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Of all the things you could get done in a year, having a half Time Lord baby is actually one of them.
Yeah.
We could have had a half Time Lord baby here.
She could have been pregnant.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Anyway.
think he's as nutty as a fruitcake. He probably doesn't have a plan.
Yeah, he just says, it's a new Time Lord empire, blah, blah, blah. The Toclafane descend, and Tom realizes that they can't see Martha. The TARDIS key perception filter makes it harder for them to notice her. Although, good thing that Martha apparently found a way to make people she wants see her. She says that it's because Tom wants to see her, but in the last episode, we saw that even when Martha looked directly at the Doctor, her mind was drawn elsewhere.
Oh.
But apparently Tom's hot enough that he can just see her.
Yeah. I mean, you only want good-looking people to see you, right? Because you don't want to have to walk across the earth and then deal with ugly people,
Hey,
you know?
hey, I'm here.
No, I can't see you.
My face is here and my boobs are here, baby. Check me out.
Oh, look at the good-looking person over there.
Then we have another cut. It's almost 3 p.m, so the Whovian gang get ready. The master gets a massage at 3 p.m. and makes a big deal about how gorgeous his masseuse is. He makes it all sound like he's going to get a full body massage with a happy ending. And then he just takes his jacket off, sits in a chair and gets a neck massage.
You know, I've got a friend who was traveling he's a lecturer, and he was in Singapore, staying at the Hilton, and he decided to go and get a massage in the hotel. And he said he went there, and the woman, he went in and he said she was really done up, like a lot of makeup, about his mother's age. And he said she kept massaging him and flicking the towel up, and he thought, this is weird, this doesn't normally happen. I'm at the Hilton. Anyway, when he rolled over, she was doing that again, flicking the towel up. She said, do you want me to massage your little brother for you? It's only extra $25.
Oh,
and he said, because he said he couldn't think of what to say, he went, oh, no, I've got to go for a run later.
I was half expecting that to happen in this episode.
Yeah, wow.
It was so, sexual.
Oh, yeah.
I love calling it his little brother.
Yeah.
He looks over a chair and he's like, do you want a massage as well? Like, no, I'm fine, thanks. I got to run later.
I said to him, you should have said, great, he's in the room waiting.
Wow.
Oh dear, I always laugh at it because he's such a sweet sort of guy who just wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah.
No. So he was like, no, I got to go for a run.
Well, you say sexual, like in the cutscene, the master literally says to Lucy, you two should get to know each other. That might be fun.
Yeah.
He's insinuating we're going to have a threesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's into orgies, menage a trois, S&M.
Yeah.
Such a juxtaposition, from other episodes that are really childish
Yeah.
that I can think of in my brain right now. I remember watching this and I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's just so different.
Yes, it's a bit adult.
So, and then the whole creepy underscore in the episode before where he strokes, is her name Tish?
Tish, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
you just stand there and be gorgeous. I'm
Yes.
like, excuse me, are we watching
Yeah.
Doctor Who here?
Yes.
Or Doctor Screw?
Yeah.
Why have they not made that?
I'm sure they have somewhere.
I mean, there are Doctor Who porn parodies. They just haven't named them Doctor Screw.
I
There
like
you go.
Dr.
You can have
Screw.
that.
It's like Carry On in the TARDIS.
Hey, carry on in my pants.
My pussy's so wet
Oh.
because
All
it
right.
was raining.
Sorry, is this an episode of what's that show?
Are you being served?
Are You Being Served? That's
Yeah.
right. I'm free.
Yeah. So same sort of humour to the Carry On movies.
Back to the streaming ep, and Captain Jack breaks out of his restraints. The Master's coat is delivered to the Doctor, and he threatens the Master with his own laser screwdriver.
Yeah.
So the plan is bust, and Martha's family are locked up. Martha and Tom meet Professor Doherty, who is trying to fix a TV and complaining about the lack of countdown. Martha says that TVs don't work anymore, but then how are people watching the transmission from the Master?
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone's like, abandon TVs, but then the Master communicates through TVs, so who's watching it?
Well, they're probably a shop window somewhere, with the TV and everyone's gathered around.
In London, they're everywhere, shop windows
Yeah.
and TVs.
Also, how lucky that Martha meets up with someone who's trying to get a TV working just as the Master's about to send out a message.
Yeah.
I was, I hope Martha saw that. No, she didn't. Fuck!
She missed it.
Keep rebroadcasting it every hour. The Master suspends the Doctor's ability to regenerate, and all 900 years of his life crash together at once, turning the Doctor into a Dobby-like house elf.
Oh my goodness.
He looks like a Muppet. It's terrible.
With a giant head.
It's
terrible.
so funny.
The only insinuation is, I think, because you know how you seem to get smaller as you age? Like you kind of hunch over, basically. I think he's taken that to the nth degree and gone, you just keep getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, they just turned the dial all the way up with that effect.
Because but it's like so much CGI on like one character, and it's like, why?
Yeah, it's just not necessary.
It's really not. And like, especially we were talking about all the adult themes in the run-up, like the Master, and he was quite unusual for Doctor Who, I think, in that he was really sexual, like we've discussed. And then that.
Yeah.
And I was like, you've just taken away all of that dark adult themes, and we're just essentially looking at a gnome.
Yep, that's right. You popped a Muppet in.
It was such a shame. It was just a moment of like, I'm watching a kid show.
Yeah.
It was like a crashing down moment.
But then the clothes don't shrink as well, so then the house elf comes out. So imagine at some point he'd just come out and be like, right, okay, we're just going to see the full Doctor naked then. But good thing the Master managed to find someone to like knit together a tiny little suit for him to wear. Did he have that ready? He's like, which one do you want me to, or did they grab, fucking sew him a suit. I don't want to keep seeing his fucking Dobby penis, all right? Jesus.
That would suit his mad characters. I've got you a whole new wardrobe, tiny Doctor.
He is very Dobby-like, isn't he?
Oh, it's just... I burst out laughing when I was watching it again because I forgot just how stupid it was.
Yeah.
I remember going, well, credibility just fucked off.
Martha has come to Professor Doherty for her help into getting one of the Toclophane. They open up the sphere and find a face inside. Martha is horrified when the face tells her the skies will be full of diamonds.
It's the little boy.
It's the little boy.
So I can't remember. Was this a previous episode?
Yeah.
That was in
flashback?
Utopia, yeah.
Because I can't remember that episode.
There's a little boy and he goes, made of diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was well thought out. I liked that. That was dark and creepy, but I'm still getting over the fact that there's Dobbies in a cage.
Yes. But then it's just like a face. They've managed to like...
I thought it was really well done.
Work themselves down, and it's not like just a brain in there. It's a whole face.
I know.
Like, that's a lot of real estate in that sphere.
It is, but I really liked that, and I thought,
it was horrifying to look at.
Yeah, that's right. That kept the dark theme. They just couldn't quite manage to keep it for the whole thing, because every time I went back to look at the
in a bird cage, like you just mentioned.
Look at the Doctor in a cage. I mean, it just. They could have at least shrunk him down to like the Swedish Chef. Oh, no. That would have been funny.
Yeah, but it's horrifying to think that the humans at the end of the universe are just going to find nothing and go completely insane.
And be put in these machines. They're like the Daleks, sort of, isn't it?
Basically.
Yeah, except we're not green and blobby.
No, we're just a face.
Just a face.
Just a face.
Well, just keep my face, okay? I like it.
How do they mate? Anyway.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
bang, bang, bang.
That's
bang.
Doctor Screw Part 2.
NSFW, maybe? Like, we not entirely sure what's going on.
No.
Maybe they have large penises they eject.
Oh, a lot
Like
of
those
facials.
octopuses, they throw their penis.
Throw their penis at them.
The TARDIS was converted into a paradox machine to enable the Toclophane to kill their ancestors, which they like doing because it's so fun. So Tom shoots it in its dumb future face.
That's right. Made of diamonds. I don't think so.
Diamond this motherfucker. Bam, 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 bam. We could have got more information. Whatever.
Yeah, don't you hate that when they killed them? And then you go, we could have got more information. Nah, we couldn't have.
To be fair, I was just stumped, so I was kind of relieved that he shot it in the face.
I don't know what it is. Kill it.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
On the Valiant, we have more cuts. We see the Dobby Doctor in his new bird cage. And we see the Jones family now locked up. They take turns talking about how they're going to kill the Master, and Francine and Clive share a kiss. Because if you want your divorced parents to get back again, a secret year of slave labour is the best way, apparently.
I think lock them up for a year, they'd like each other or kill each other.
It's the Parent Trap 2.
Oh.
Slave labour.
Love it.
The Master took Lucy to Utopia, a Time Lord and his human companion. The lack of anything broke Lucy, causing her to realise that life is meaningless. I mean, geez, we all go through an emo phase eventually. Just listen to My Chemical Romance and make vague book posts about how life is meaningless like the rest of us.
But that, to me, doesn't explain how she reacts to everything. I just think there's got to be more to it. You know, yes, it broke her, but she must have been an absolute bitch beforehand if she doesn't find any of this.
I was waiting for her to be revealed as something or some creature. But she just stands there in that red dress and then just shoots him, and then I'm like, oh, that's the end.
Well, she does seem to be quite vacant. So it's a better explanation than nothing. Like in the first episode, I was thinking, well, why is she helping the Doctor? And understanding that literally she's been driven mad by the fact that nothing means anything. I mean, you know, in 100 years' time, no one's going to remember this fucking podcast. Like, nothing means anything at all anyway.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not going to just, lie in my bed till I die now because no one's going to remember my podcast. That's it. I'm out of here.
We need to get a time capsule to
put it in there. Just put it on Facebook as much as you can.
Yeah, because Facebook, they say that if Facebook goes down, this whole 10 years or something is going to be missing in humanity because we don't have any physical records. No one's printing out photos. No one's, actually has physical stuff. We'll just have all the scrapbooks that mums make around the world.
Well, we might have, what I always think is, when you're doing you're looking at your ancestors, like you get on ancestry.com and you find a few things and you're like, my great-great-great-grandfather was a convict, blah, blah, blah. You think about the generations like my great-great-great-grandkids will just be able to get on and go, well, here's mum drunk at a party.
Yeah.
Here's mum with a dog and another one with mum with a dog. My third great-grandmother loved dogs, There's so much out there.
Do you want to check out my grandma in a bikini? There's so many photos.
Oh, my goodness.
That's right. Here she is swearing about something else. Quite the potty mouth, Grandma.
The future versions of Don't You, where did I come from will be like, I'm so sorry, we found out something very shameful about your grandfather. He was an Instagram influencer. Oh, God, no. No! I didn't know we had such a shameful secret.
He was a Trump supporter. Oh, my Lord! He was an anti-vaxxer. Oh, my God.
And that's why we won't be having kids, because we don't want that lineage to be passed forward for future generations. The Master leaves to go to bed with Lucy, and the Toclafane follows, presumably to watch. Martha reveals her plan to Doherty and Milligan. She's been travelling the world searching for the pieces of a gun designed to kill a Time Lord to stop them from regenerating, and presumably to gain enough experience to reach a high enough level to defeat the Master, because apparently this is an RPG.
Yeah, and you've got to keep going, and build up your energy and pick up things as you go.
Yeah.
So was the gun is pointless?
Yeah.
It's a furphy.
But it's an actual thing. Yeah. But that's what I want to know. Did she just get one person to create the whole random gun thing? Or has she actually been traveling to different places being like, all right, I need you to create this fake chemical for me so it can look like that's why I was here?
I don't know.
They can't see her anyway because she's got that Archangel force field. So why does she need the pretense of collecting this fake gun?
I think I
don't know if I'd missed something.
I think it's a misdirection for the Master.
Yeah.
So they want him to think that she's going to try and kill him.
Yeah.
So he can see her movements then?
I think
Well, the master gets information
Right.
from the
okay.
people that she
So
meets.
it's like a cover story.
Yeah. So you're on the doctor's side. You want to work for the good side, and then they take your parents and say, right, we're going to kill your parents unless you give us information. So you go, okay. So you give information over to the master.
Right.
So he's using the old "I'm going to kill your dog" sort of concept.
Yeah, because we see Doherty giving information about Martha's just been there and she's got this gun.
Because he's got her son.
Because he's got her son, yeah.
So I don't know where they are. They must be, are they all on the Falcon? Does he have like hostage down the bottom? He's got the Joneses up the top, and then I've got Doherty's son, and I've got
So did he know
Chloe's
that she
parents.
was going to Doherty then?
Yeah, she
So this is all
worked out, because
She's a scientist.
She's at the point where she's ready to confront the master, basically.
So she's aiming to get there, right? That's why she walks out when he's there. So
But also Martha knows that Doherty is working for the master. So she particularly goes to
she's
Doherty.
so smart for a year. I
know.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just so impressed.
She becomes a super spy master in a year.
Yeah.
Amazing.
She is fantastic.
Actually, we might get some clues in the upcoming Big Finish release, The Year of Martha Jones, which is set during the year that never was. It's due to be released in December 2021.
Yeah, I think that'll be really good. I've read some of the novels, just small ones about when she was in Japan and when she's in Russia, and they were pretty good, actually.
Oh, so they're actually exploring this year?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay.
I think there's a lot you could pull out from that year, so I'd be interested.
And Freema Jamin is recording the audiobooks, so
okay.
it'd be pretty cool.
With they're full cast, aren't they? Full
Yeah, I believe
cast
so,
audios, yeah.
As Martha and Tom leave, Doherty tells her she doesn't look like a killer, which is precisely what most people say about serial killers.
That's right. All the neighbours go, he was so quiet. Never heard anything. He's so sweet.
Bit whiffy, but, other than that, that's basically how they found Des, the one that David Tennant played.
Oh, yeah.
Because they found bones in the sewerage in his...
He didn't think his plan through, did
No.
he?
Did you know that he tried to say to his neighbours that it was KFC bones?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And they were like, if you've got some, can we have some? And he's like, here you go. No.
Just off the topic, David Tennant played that role so well.
Oh, yeah.
He's just so fantastic.
Very creepy.
Gee, he's a good actor.
There's a very short scene cut here where the master creeps up to the doctor in his dressing gown and says, guess what? That's it, basically. That's the whole
I wonder why
scene.
they cut that.
Yeah, just probably for time.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that it was cut, as it serves no real purpose except that you get to watch John Sim prancing around in a dressing gown.
I mean, that is worth keeping in.
It
mind.
is. I mean, a villain in a smoking jacket is a good thing, I'd say.
Tom and Martha head to a nearby London flat filled with people. To give them hope, she tells them the story about the doctor and how he saved humanity many times.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, for me, being English as well, and you see it a lot in English things, it was just a real, like a World War II, like in the Blitz sort of moment. And like English people will never let you forget that we had Winston Churchill and we won World War II. And it was just, for me, it was just one of them moments. It's like, okay, we get it.
Queen and country.
Yeah. Like we can rally together and we can defeat this together. And I was like, oh my God, gross.
We will defeat them on the beaches. We will defeat them in the midst of Doctor Who.
But it's also just so sentimental. Was just a straight look. I've seen what people are like in COVID. There'd be a whole lot of people going, "Fuck the doctor."
Do you think all them people living in like essentially a squat house would be listening intently to the stranger who is wanted? Do you think they would just compromise their safety and listen intently? I'd like, get the fuck out of here.
Hey, people are looking for you. Yeah.
Also, remember, they have no food because they ask when he comes in, do you have any food? He's like, no. And they're like, well, we don't have any food. We've only got water. So they're all very hungry. And they're like, all right, it's time for a story. Yay,
Yeah,
story
she's like, yeah,
time.
all right, I'll talk. I don't want to listen about this bitch's amazing year when I've just been sat in this house.
And then I went to Japan and, oh my God, did I eat so much food. Shut up!
Sushi. I walked across America.
Well, especially if you haven't eaten and all you've got is water. Wouldn't you all be nodding off because you're really tired?
Oh, you just eat her.
They just stay up all night, work all day, and then they just stay up. When do they fucking sleep?
Yeah. Actually, I think we could have just eaten him He's quite attractive.
Just roast Tom Milligan on the spit.
I always wanted to eat a pretty man.
Here, Martha, eat this. I thought we didn't have any meat. Where's Tom?
Have a bit of thigh.
Oh, no, I know what bit she'd eat.
Oh.
Dr. Screw.
Just a bit of an hors d'oeuvre, isn't it? Oh, I thought it'd be bigger, actually. Oh, anyway.
I thought it'd be a meal, but no. Entree.
Martha mentions that she loves the doctor, and Tom Milligan looks a little crushed. Sorry, buddy. Oh.
Yeah. And why? I don't want her to love him anymore. She sent her off on this year when he could have sent Jack, who can die and come back again.
Yeah.
Fuck him, I say.
Yeah. It's such a shame for Martha's character because with Rose it felt so organic, their love story, and I felt that Martha was just essentially like a rebound.
Yes.
And it was a shame because she was so great other than that.
Yeah, other than the unrequited love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Master appears on the street and Martha gives herself up to save innocent people because it's what the doctor would do. But then we also know that this is what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
And yet she hides for some reason.
Well, because you don't want the Master to think it's too easy.
Yeah.
If it's too easy... he may be as nutty as a fruitcake who wants to have orgies, but he's still not that dumb.
She could have at least let Tom know, though, because he just pathetically threw himself in front of her.
Yeah.
At least let him in on it, like, hey, look, I'm going to go. Don't throw yourself in front of me so you get shot.
But
don't
if
do it.
he didn't throw himself in front of her and get killed, it looked like the Master was just going to shoot her right there. Because it isn't until after he gets shot that he goes, no, actually, the doctor should watch. So if Tom hadn't run out, he would have just shot her and been like, well, end of that plan.
But, we all know that that's always the problem with all of the villains, isn't it? I'm going to kill you in 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not going to get rid of my problem now. I'm going to draw this out in a very overcomplicated manner.
Yeah.
And then lose.
It's one of the things that I loved how they pointed out in, what's his face?
Austin Powers.
I love the fact that, the son keeps just kill him.
Yeah.
Shoot him. No, we've got to do this bit. But they really point out how stupid the villains are.
Yeah.
On the Valiant, the Master has assembled Martha's family, Captain Jack and the Dobby Doctor. He confiscates the vortex manipulator and makes Martha kneel before him. He starts a ticking countdown for when the Master's fleet are ready to fly. As the Master gives his epic speech, Martha starts laughing.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that it's her
that
now knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not the doctor, it's her. She's done all the bloody work.
It feels really satisfying watching it, even though you know she's going to win in the end. It's still that nice. And when you see that break in the Master's face, it's like,
when she explains the plan, he's like, I don't care, whatever. And then she's like, the satellites, he's like, what?
Yeah. It's real
excuse
nice.
Yeah, I think it's great. Martha's real plan was to travel the world telling the story of the Doctor to the people of the Earth. The Doctor told her to use the countdown, although hopefully he explained his plan a little bit better than that. Otherwise, Martha might have spent the entire year trying to assemble the Desi of the TV show Countdown. Use the countdown. All right, I've got the 2 Deses together. What do I do with them? Martha told the people of the world to think of the Doctor when the Master starts his countdown. For all the people of the world to say the name of the Doctor together whilst being plugged into the Archangel network, a telepathic network used against itself.
If you believe in fairies, we can save Tinkerbell.
There's just a bit of... I know the show is called Doctor Who. I know it's about the Doctor. I know that. But oh my God, what a smug prick he is in this bit. The whole world chanting his name. It just,
Everyone changes him and then he rises Christ-like.
Yes, oh my
like a
God.
resurrection.
Oh my Lord.
What a God complex.
Oh, yeah.
He gives the Doctor the ability to pass through the birdcage, to grow back to normal size, and make sure his clothes grow as well.
Oh, thank God for
and
that.
shiny white new Converse.
He's had a whole year to plug himself into the Archangel network.
Oh, well, then he did have a plan. So
Apparently.
what was the one a couple of days ago? Well, that was just...
What was that? If that had worked...
We are so bored.
Martha, it's okay. I've defeated the Doctor. What the fuck are you talking about?
Stupid.
The Doctor disarms the Master with his new force powers and flies over to him to tell him the one thing he's been trying to say all this time. that he forgives the master.
Oh, my.
Christ-like.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what happened is that
Too much.
when you give yourself the fact that, all of this won't matter because I'm going to reset it back anyway, you can do anything. You can basically really lean into the Christ-like doctor. Yeah.
And it also feels like all like the technical jargon just doesn't matter as well at that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you have these adult dark themes. Then you've got Dobby. Then you've got the let's all rally together and say the doctor's name. And then you've got we can bring Tinkerbell back. And these three things really bugged me.
Yeah.
Really
and also
bugged me.
just the logistics of that. I mean, I know it's not real, but
What?
Yeah.
Well, we don't remember the year that never was.
Oh,
That's what Chloe's saying.
Yeah. Time zones,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like Martha, that's a lot of work in a year. I mean, Japan is what? I can't even work it out.
I don't know, but what if I slept through it? Oh, shit, I forgot to wake up and say the doctor.
That one voice would have made all the difference.
Well, it was 2 a.m.
But it's also interesting because, like, whenever a show wants to do something that is basically magic, they're like, oh, it's psychic powers. Don't worry about it. That's sci-fi enough. It's like we can't even prove right now that people have psychic abilities. But in sci-fi, it's just like, oh, yeah, it's sci-fi and it does, like, everything.
Yeah, it's in the umbrella.
It allows him to fly. It allows him to grow.
It allows him to be Christ.
To de-age. It gives him force powers. It fucking, he's a Jedi, basically.
I just would have liked those 3 bits. I just would have liked something else. Something that stayed with the theme that they'd built of this dark, weird. Anyway, I did think of Tinkerbell.
Yes. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings.
Oh, but you've got to believe.
Yeah. We believe, Doctor. The master teleports away, but the doctor catches him and they land in the quarry overlooking the rocket ships. The master threatens to destroy Earth by igniting the black hole converters inside each ship, killing everyone, including himself. But the doctor knows him better than that, and he removes the control from his hands.
Yes, but then the master does the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And he won't regenerate.
It's interesting. It's always interesting when it's like if a baddie kills a couple of people, then the doctor's totally fine to like kill you. But if you do mass genocide, then he's like,
I'm going to fix you.
I can't. Yeah, I can't hurt. I can't do it. I can't do genocide.
You're the last of the Time
The
Lords.
last of the Time Lords. You're my buddy.
I gotta say, if myself and say Ivan Milat were the last people, I wouldn't have a problem.
But you grew up with Ivan. He's your best friend.
The last 2 Australians here.
Let me show you my skin collection. Yeah, I'm shooting you dead in the head, buddy.
It'd go from the last 2 Australians to me going, no, I'm the last. I'm the only one left.
It just ties in with the whole like Christ-like element as well. It's like, oh, stop being such a goody-goody. Just shoot him in the head.
That's right, shoot him.
He's turned you into a gnome and back for a whole year. Just fucking kill him.
But he just leaves it. He's like, just in case someone else wants to kill him, does anyone else want to kill him for me?
Anybody.
Anyone.
I mean, I can't, but anyone else.
Well, after a brief battle with some guarding Toclophane, Captain Jack gets inside the TARDIS and destroys the Paradox machine as the Master and the Doctor teleport back aboard the Valiant. With the Paradox machine destroyed, the Paradox can no longer contain itself. Instead of destroying the entire universe like the Doctor always says a Paradox will, time reverses and they return to the moment just after the US president was zapped.
Oh, thank God for that.
Yeah, how convenient. Yeah. Apparently, time reversing looks like just some people standing in an alley screaming against a giant wind machine. Oh no, time's reversing!
And I remember that. That's what I remember. The large gust of wind up the suburban streets of Narangba.
Yes. It reminds me of when in in Superman, where he goes backwards and saves Lois Lane. Yeah. It's so
It's nothing worse than you walk into Woolies and when you come out, everything's changed.
Oh no, time's reversing again. I left my coat at home.
Just very Wizard of Oz.
Yes. Where's the stolen car I brought here? I don't know where I'm parked.
But imagine you're one of those people, you're like, doctor, and then massive wind happens. It's like, fuck, is this supposed to happen? Did the doctor do this? Are we all fucking dead?
Oh, we fell for that one.
Oh no.
Can I ask a Doctor Who science question really quickly? Paradox. What were they talking about? I got very confused.
Oh, because the Toclophane are humans from the far future and they've come back in time to kill humans. Technically, the Toclophane shouldn't exist because they're killing the humans
That they were.
who will eventually become
So
the Toclophane.
it'd be like if I travelled and then came back and walked in this room and saw myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
then
a
killed
paradox?
us. Yeah.
So it'd be like if you found the time
Okay.
machine that we keep in the cupboard and then you come back because you're like, well, I did a shit episode of the podcast. So
Oh,
you
God,
come
she
back.
has so far, hasn't she?
Well, it's not worth killing yourself over, but you kill yourself because then you wouldn't be able to do the shit episode of the podcast to then go back and kill yourself.
And it's a paradox because you've already done it.
Yeah.
So Captain Jack blasting the shit out of the paradox machine means what?
Means it stops basically, because the TARDIS was the only reason that the Toclophane could kill the humans, because it was suspending two
Time periods.
dimensions at once, basically.
okay.
Yeah.
Even though we know that there are parallel dimensions, which is basically the explanation for possible paradoxes, is that when you go back in time, you're going to another version of the universe, and therefore that's okay. But yeah, they want both ways, basically.
Oh, my brain is like burning.
Yeah, I tried to read string theory. My head fell off.
So is it, I know like this is a different episode, but you know the one where Rose goes and it's the parallel universe.
Yeah.
Is it like the same science in inverted
Sort
commas?
of, except that the fact that there are parallel universes actually means that there can be what would be called paradoxes, because
They're in separate universes.
Universes,
but the Doctor is talking about this universe that he's in like it's, the Marvel universe where they just have the one timeline.
Okay. So like
Yeah.
in Back to the Future where they go back, but that changes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah.
But this was a moment in the episode again where I was just like, this is way over my head.
But I
Just
think the
watching John
TARDIS
Barrowman.
is holding it. I imagine
Yeah,
it's
the
like
TARDIS
a
is
bubble
holding it, yeah.
paradox, and then there's... And if you let go of it, what should happen leaks into whatever else is happening out
okay.
there. That's my idea.
We're always told that if there's a paradox, it'll destroy everything, but instead it just conveniently takes it back to just before, and they're like, whoa, whoo, am I right?
Reset
that.
buttons.
Done and done.
Everybody likes a... I'm surprised they didn't have a big red reset button. Reset.
No, it's a gun. That's the reset button. Being in the eye of the storm, everyone on the Valiant remembers everything. Presumably, that includes all of the Master's guards, who will remember all of the people they killed for the Master, and all of the staff who are forced to work for the Master like slaves, and Doherty's son, and there's a bunch of people on there who are just fucking, got PTSD because they worked for the Master,
Well, maybe there's like a trap door, and there was like an escape hatch, and somebody pulled it, and they all dropped down.
Maybe the wife just shot all of them as well.
Oh, maybe.
She's on a rampage
She's
after.
busy.
What happens if you weren't on the Valiant, because they were all conveniently on the Valiant at that point in time. What happens if you weren't on the Valiant, but ended up on the Valiant later on? And so you're on the Valiant when it goes backwards in time. Is there now two of you because there's one of you, or do you disappear and you go back to where you were?
I think you disappear. So maybe if you were staff, you did the afternoon shift, then you're not there in the eye of the storm because you weren't there at the beginning. I don't know.
And then the masseuse just has to remember all the freaking HJs that she's given to the Master.
Yeah. That's when you go, oh no,
dear.
creep me out.
Do you think they all get together and they have like, oh yeah, remember the year that we all remember that no one else fucking remembers?
God.
Yeah, that's the annual PTSD get together.
Well, because Leo is the only one in the family who didn't experience that year. So he doesn't remember. All of a sudden, the parents rock up and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're back together. And it's like, wow, okay.
Do you reckon they all talk and then when he enters the room, they just stop talking?
Everyone
They
stops.
look at each other like,
Yeah.
He'll stop going there for
He
Christmas.
will never know.
why don't you want to follow your career in PR? Oh, because of what happened. What happened? Nothing. Nothing.
Hey, Tish, you've just got a really fabulous job and you don't have the qualifications. I'm not taking it.
No.
Right? I'm not
Everything's
taking it.
meaningless. There's a cutscene where Martha's mum picks up the handgun and threatens to shoot the Master, but the Doctor talks her down. Without it, all of the side glances to Francine and her standing at the bottom of the stairs look a little awkward. The Doctor says he'll take the Master on the TARDIS and look after him like a pet.
Oh, God.
That's what I envisioned.
Yeah.
Well, he's been, the Doctor was a pet. He was Dobby.
Yes.
Now the Master gets to be Dobby.
Yeah, maybe it's not being sanctioned. Maybe it's just revenge.
And later on, he does have, the master, well, not in the TARDIS, but in a thing.
He does.
But those plans are dashed when Lucy Saxon shoots the master, and the master refuses to regenerate to spite the Doctor.
Yeah, it still doesn't make sense to me, really. Why doesn't he just blow up the world and kill himself if he's prepared not to regenerate?
Yeah. Just takes back the thing and he's like, oh, by the way, you're all dead. Bye.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was a choice. I thought they'd just regenerated.
Well,
Only time it's ever been mentioned as far as I know.
Oh, well, but apparently Ramona switches between different bodies and chooses who...
She did, yeah. But I think it's just that Time ladies are just so much cleverer than Time Lords.
They're more in tune with their bodies. Once again, the Doctor is the last of the Time Lords. The Doctor burns the master body, so there's no way we'll ever see him come back again.
In that Viking ritual.
Yes.
I know.
And then when you watch it again and there's like wind blowing around and the Doctor's wearing this long coat, I was like, Jesus, it's lucky he didn't fucking set himself on fire.
Look, I was just waiting for Obi-Wan Kenobi to say, use the Force, Doctor.
And then the clouds part and there's Mufasa in the clouds. He's like, use the Force, Doctor.
Oh, dear.
So, of course, we see a female hand picking up the Master's ring as his laughter rings out.
You know, take the jewellery off the guy before you burn him.
It's gonna burn. It's
pop
gonna
it in
burn.
the TARDIS or pawn it at least, do something.
It reminds me of when I used to watch MacGyver with my family, and he always had an arch nemesis who would definitely die at the end of every episode he was in. But then in the next episode that he was in, he'd come back and be like, no, I conveniently didn't get shot enough to kill me, and I found a raft when I fell into the water. It's like, no, you were 100% dead, buddy.
I get it in terms of like writing because it leaves something open-ended, but it just makes everyone look really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
it does.
The
the Doctor for not cleaning up the jewellery afterwards.
Yeah.
Not waiting around to see if Darth Vader comes back. Anakin Skywalker is an old man.
I literally burnt the fuck out of you. Why are you back? One more cut. Martha runs up to Professor Doherty, gives her a bunch of flowers and says she doesn't blame her. Of course, Doherty can't remember who Martha is. Doherty looks chuffed at receiving random flowers, which you would, but if someone ran up to me and said, I don't blame you, I'd be very worried about what I did.
Oh my God.
I'd be like, fuck, what did I do? Oh my God.
Oh, well, in this day and age, what did I post that upset somebody? What did I say in a podcast? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh no. Back in Cardiff, the Doctor offers Captain Jack a spot on board the TARDIS. He refuses, saying that he needs to look after his own little team. I'll bet the Doctor is overjoyed that he refused. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, good. Good, because you're like weird and the TARDIS doesn't like you. I think Jack is so underused in this episode. I mean, they could have at least had his shirt off for me.
And he's another one, like John Brett, who just plays the role of like, I'm just going to go for this. And gun-ho, and I just love that.
You have fun watching him because you know he's having fun.
Yeah.
That's what I like about him.
It's basically just a big ad for being like, hey, come watch Torchwood, Thursdays at 9 p.m. Goodbye.
They might as well have said that. I need to go and look after my crew. I can't do the accent.
Yeah.
Torchwood, watch BBC Free.
I just think that there's something, it's the abandon. For me, it's almost an advertisement for be cool.
Yeah. Don't do drugs. He might have don't do drugs. Stay in school. Goodbye.
Cool. Yeah.
Don't be the master.
He's very cool.
Yeah.
Captain Jack talks about he may be immortal. He might not be able to die, but he still ages. Still, there's nothing the Doctor can do. Jack came from the Beauchene Peninsula. The Face of Beau, they called him. Like they call me the Face of Red.
So the Face of Beau is in one of the Eccleston episodes, The End of the World, and he's like in the fish tank, the big head.
A big face in a tank.
Yeah, that was quite a nice tie-up, I think. I did enjoy
it was
that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I was quite interested in that, although I remember in the last episode in the first season for Eccleston, one of the questions that Rose gets is the Face of Beau is pregnant. So I'm trying to work out how Jack gets pregnant, but
Well, he's from the far future.
True.
He's got millions of years to work it out, so.
True.
In the final cutscene, as Martha walks back to the TARDIS, she calls a hospital to find Tom Milligan, but hangs up without saying a word.
She's just checking he's there.
Just making sure, like a creepy stalker.
Again, creeping people out.
Yeah.
A bunch of flowers to a woman in the middle of the street, and then a phone call to an ER department. I mean, come on, he's a busy guy. And then you just breathe over the phone.
These ones.
Imagine if she rocked up and she's like, I can't wait to see Tom Milligan, and then finds out that without the year of him running around, he's got really fat, and it's like, no, we need the year that never was.
Damn, man.
The doctor prepares to leave, but Martha has made the decision to stay on Earth. She can't spend all her time following a guy who isn't into her.
Oh.
She has that little speech, which, whatever.
I mean,
I love that.
I love it, but also it's so cringe. It's almost very like British soap opera. It's like, I ain't going to stay around for you because like I'm better than that. And as much as I like it for her character development, because I feel she got screwed over being like the rebound, essentially, it was just a bit cringy to watch.
I think she didn't need to tell him that story. It's
about
good
her
for
mate. Her mate who lived with that bloke. Yeah.
I think it's good for us to know that.
Yeah.
But for her to go in and say, you know, blah, 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 head up, walk out. I think she lost a bit of – it loses a bit by coming back and going, and this is why I don't want to be your friend anymore.
And he's just a fuckboy because he's just like, okay.
Yeah, all right, I'll find someone else.
Fair enough.
But it'd be great if she walked back in and she's like, so when I was in Japan, right, and I met these two people and they liked each other, but he didn't notice her, and then it doesn't matter because they both fucking died. Because, you know, if it was from the year that never was, and he's like, oh, okay, you might need to see you might need to speak to some people because...
or she could have come back in and said message from Lucy Saxon and shot him in the face for putting her through that.
She just walks back in and she's like, I got to stay here because I spent a year that no one fucking remembers.
For you.
And I don't love you anymore.
So, telling the doctor that she'll see him again, Martha leaves the TARDIS. As the doctor flies off, he runs smack bang into the Titanic as the credits roll.
Yes, I think that Martha's leaving. I think the doctor should have shown some remorse and been sad about it. But yeah, he's a fuckboy. He's like,
because when Rose left, that emotion in his face was so beautiful. And then, I just felt such a shame.
Yeah.
He was just like, all right, and here's the Titanic. Credits roll. See you at Christmas.
Well, I don't have to feel bad about that because she left, and also here's the Titanic.
It was really poorly done, and it really reminded me of Classic Who. The companions would, they'd turn up somewhere and the companion go, oh, I just fell in love with this alien. And the doctor would go, okay, you can stay. And he'd leave. And then he'd never mention them again.
Yeah.
And then with the Rose thing, it was all right. I didn't mind him mentioning her for a little bit, but it went on and on and on. And then I was like, oh, get over it. Anyway.
All right. Before we give it a score, is there anything else anyone would like to mention about Last of the Time Lords?
It had everything I like about David Tennant as an actor. I felt he shows his true range from Dobby the house elf to...
Although most of that was done behind a CG. Like, I wonder if he actually had to wear the motion capture suit and be like, I'm Dobby, the little house elf.
I hope so.
And are there nude photos of that? That's the other thing you need to know.
Or he just sat in a recording booth being like, now I have something to tell you. All right, I'm done. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm having a day off. Woohoo!
But I just want to commend him as well, if you're listening, David Tennant. The end scene where he's holding the master, it was like all of that chaotic energy of being that elf and everything. I honestly nearly shed a tear at the end. And I think that's a real testament to him as an actor. So yeah, I think the episode really tested his range as an actor.
He really sells that at the end. Yeah. In fact, it pissed me off that he's more upset about losing the master than Martha.
Yes.
But he really does look devastated.
That episode should be his showreel. Not that he needs one, but I think he shows every side of a doctor should be in that episode.
Yeah, it was very good. Yeah. And I did shed a tear when Martha left.
Yeah.
I knew I would because the first time I watched it, I did. So
And speaking of really good actors, I think there's a point where John Barrowman gives that speech about the Beauchene Peninsula and blah, blah, blah. It's such a naff little speech. Like, if it had been a lesser actor, I would have been like, oh, whatever.
True.
But John Barrowman really sells it because it's like, it's really just wedged in there.
Yeah.
So you know that he's the face of Beau, but it's like, that was, watching it again, I was like, oh, if someone else had done this, it would have been just like really naff. Yeah.
It could have really sounded like it was just wedged in there.
Yeah.
But it just sounds quite natural.
And there was a lot of wedging in this episode.
Yeah.
Like the tapping and all of them, throwbacks and things. So, yeah.
And all the main characters get their, the Martha gets her monologue, Jack gets his monologue, the Master gets his monologue. Like, there's a bunch of reasons of being like, okay, you're in this episode, but you get this sick monologue, and it's like, yeah, all right, meaty, that's what.
And Martha's mum gets that scene with the gun. I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
that was quite powerful as well.
Mm-hmm. I think it's quite good. But one of my favourites is Martha when she's just doing that, smiling at the Master. I think it's just such a powerful little interaction.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, as we do, we like to give the episode a score out of 5. Nicchia, would you like to go first?
This is tough because there's bits of it I like, but there's a couple of bits that I just went, oh, please. So it was between a 2.5 and a 3, but I think I'm going to go for a 3.
Okay.
And it's losing the marks for the, Tinkerbell, Star Wars, Dobby, there's all that. And the, let me tell you a story about my best friend who I love, that sort of thing. But there are other things that are really great in it. So, three for me.
Do you think Martha goes, let me tell you a story about the Doctor? In fact, if you want to know the whole story, you can check out Doctor Who on BBC.
Yeah. I brought the box set.
Yes. We're going to watch it all.
Yeah, don't worry, we're not watching classic Who.
So does anyone here in this refugee camp want to be a guest on my podcast? So a 3 for you. All right, Chloe?
I think I have to agree. Maybe a 3.5.
Sure.
I think where it falls in flabby, cringy storyline, it makes up for in acting ability. I think John Sim is just fantastic. And I was a big fan of his like Life on Mars and that. So when he was in the episode, I was like, oh, yes, what a great choice. And David Tennant, as we've mentioned. So, yeah, I'm going to push it a little bit more. 3.5. But because of you guys, I am rewatching all of the Tennant series. So maybe it will change when I watch some more.
I think for me, because this season 3, is so strong and there's so much great stuff in it.
Yeah.
I'm probably harder on the episodes that don't get up to that standard.
Yeah.
And I'll have to remember that, try to remember that for season 4. I try to judge the episodes on how the season itself is.
And I think it's hard with Doctor Who because especially, and I know this was because of like their budget as well, there's episodes really flip between kooky, silly, here's Shakespeare, here's Queen Victoria, and then the really serious themes. So sometimes they do feel a little bit of a mash of both. And I think that's one of those episodes where it's like, we want to be an adult show, but also here's the Doctor as a little elf.
Yeah.
So maybe it didn't quite hit the mark with bringing both those worlds together, but I think on acting, I think it really makes up. So I'm going to go 3.5. There
is a quote, I can't remember who said it, but they say that the TARDIS is not a time machine, it's a genre machine. And basically each episode can be a different genre because that's what you can do in Doctor Who. If you want a horror episode, you can have a horror episode. If you want, parts of this feel like a post-apocalyptic story and then the other half feels like a fantasy story, like with the Doctor. So yeah, it's interesting. And I think that's part of the reason why the show has lasted so long is you don't have to be
something for
hard
everyone,
sci-fi.
Right?
Yeah. You can be a period piece or you could be a future thing or an alien movie or a horror thing. Yeah.
Yep. I think you've got those options and that. Yeah. I mean, throw in the light ones. I love them.
Yeah.
And that's great. But then also, then you throw in something that challenges you and occasionally throw in something where you go, what the fuck was everyone thinking when they put that together?
Two of my favourite episodes ever is the one with Johnny Vegas, where she gets sucked into the pavement.
Love and Monsters.
Yeah, love it. And then my second favourite is Blink, which is arguably the most scary piece of television ever made ever.
Blink is great.
It's always interesting to me that the one episode that is considered like the best Doctor Who episode doesn't have the Doctor in it for most of it.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great episode.
Just has people talking about the Doctor. It's quite funny.
But I think you're right about it being a genre machine, because what other series in the world could have 2 episodes like that in the same
exactly.
in the same world?
Incredible.
And I'm going to agree with Chloe. I'm going to give it a 3.5. Although I will add the caveat that if you watch the broadcast edition with I Can't Decide in it, I would give it an extra 0.5 and say it's a 4.
Ooh.
Because I love that scene so much and I'm so devastated that they cut it out of the
such a
streaming
shame.
version. Because
Yeah.
I spent the whole episode being like, where is it? And then when I watched the other version, I was like, oh my God, they cut it. So yeah, 3.5. And it's surprising because I always considered these 3 episodes, Utopia through to Last of the Time Lords, as my favorite final, season finisher, basically. And so I thought, before I started watching these episodes, I thought, I'm going to give one of these episodes a 5. I know it. Just have to figure out which one it's going to be. So I'm a bit devastated to know that I didn't like it as much as I thought I did, but they're still good. I still like them. I still, like the introduction of the Master. John Sims' Master is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. We never saw enough of him because then when he came back for the next finale, it was silly story and it just annoyed the crap out of me. So I hate it when they, one of the things that I'm really interested in is the next season with Jodie and that Chris Chibnall's done is going to be one long story in parts. Oh. And I'm fascinated as to how that will work because sometimes we rush a story because we've got 45 minutes and we go from this great story that you think, oh my God, this could have been bigger to a story where it just feels like it's full of padding. So I will be really interested how it works episodically. And if it works really well, do they pick it up for the next showrunner?
That could eliminate the whole genre thing you were talking about, though, because surely they'd have to stay in the same world.
Yeah, and it's like,
story.
well, how? Because one of the things about Doctor Who is good is you can just jump in halfway through, or you can watch an episode when you can catch it. So is that going to make it a bit difficult for people to jump in?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes.
I'm interested as well.
People didn't say, well, I'm not going to watch Game of Thrones because there's 7 episodic seasons.
Yeah, true.
They did. We watch things like that. So, it'll be interesting. Now, what we do is all of our guests, Chloe, when they come on here, we ask them what their Time Lord name would be.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
So your Time Lord name is going to be either what word embodies you or maybe what word embodies what you're aiming for as a person or for your life. So the Doctor chooses the Doctor because he wants to help, do no harm. Adam is
the nerd.
The nerd.
Okay. Because I analyse everything.
Because he overanalyzes everything.
Yeah.
My family gave me my Time Lord name, which is the Commander.
Okay.
Well, I'm in charge. My husband asks billions of pointless questions, so we call him the Inquisitor.
Yeah. Oh, well, the first thing that comes to mind is the procrastinator. And because honestly, the first thing I thought when I watched this episode was Martha has got her shit together.
Yes, yeah.
And I don't.
Well, she had a year to get it together, though.
A year is not long.
I know,
a year
I
is
know.
like a second in my life. So,
She had to hit the ground running.
but I'm going to take the procrastinator and make it a positive because I will really mull over, think, put off, do other things, but it will make me wiser in the end.
Sure.
Okay, so what I want to know is we turn up, we're on our adventure.
Yeah.
We're in the TARDIS, we turn up, we've got the nerd, the commander. What does the procrastinator bring to our adventure?
Well, she doesn't turn up for another couple of
Oh,
hours.
okay.
Yeah,
So she's
I'm mulling
late.
things over and just furiously doing other projects frantically to take my mind off the mission.
Yeah.
Leave you two to it. I'll turn up 6 months later and take all the credit.
Oh, God.
Do you know what happens is we get out of the TARDIS, we get captured, then the procrastinator notices and like, oh shit, I gotta go save them.
Yeah.
Then procrastinates about it.
Yeah. Oh, I've got time. I've got time.
And also I've been practicing my sewing skills so I could bring that, I'm wiser in this.
You never know what you built or did while you were procrastinating may be exactly what we need to solve the mystery.
Exactly. I mean, that's Doctor Who in a nutshell.
Yeah.
It's like, I had this all along.
Yeah. That's watching YouTube. I'll always be. I told someone I go through these phases where it's like, oh, I could make my own D20 dice using resin, and then that leads to videos with resin art where people, make resin art. I'm like, oh, I could do that, and then they use a wood lathe, so then that turns into videos about wood lathing, and it's like, I could do that, and then that turns into, and then eventually comes back to making dice again. Like, I could do that.
Yeah, that would be my whole episode art. Honestly.
However, imagine the information you would have picked up by the time you get to us. You'll go, hey, well, I actually know how to pick a lock because I watched a YouTube thing on
And
it.
I'm really good at knitting and arts and crafts, and I'm here to now do the shit that matters.
And I've done a scrapbook of where we've been.
Oh, you're all dead? All right, reset button.
I made one of those. Oh, what?
I don't know. Anyway.
You're nodding at me.
Yeah,
Stop
well, you nodded
nodding
me,
at
I nodded you. It's all good. It's all good.
Nodded at you because I like you. Sir?
Ma'am. M'lady. Let me get out my fedora. M'lady.
My lord.
Still haven't gotten rid of handshakes and doing bows and curtsies yet. We should do that.
I go back to the bows and curtsies.
Yeah.
Then I don't have to touch people.
I can't wait till we can go back to licking each other's faces like we
can't
used
wait.
to.
I know.
Hungry for a better face.
I mean, I now just lick people's keyboards and they don't know, but when I can lick a face.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Chloe.
Thank
It's
you
been
for
an absolute
having me.
pleasure
Thank
having
you.
It's been amazing.
So, Chloe, is there anything you would like to promote?
Well, me and my fellow, improv partner, Liz Talbot, got a show in the works.
Ooh.
Not sure, probably the end of this year. So just keep posted for that. Full Head Foils on Facebook.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So excited
Cool.
for that.
Yeah, awesome.
So I'm also part of Big Fork Theatre, as is Adam, and catch me at Big Fork Theatre.
Awesome.
With Adam.
You can catch the hosts on Facebook at Nicchia Shoot Comedy and Adam O'Sullivan Comedian. D4WH is on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The podcast is available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and many more. Nicchia also hosts Neighbourhood Watching with Beck and Nick, looking at the weird and wacky neighbours just over the back fence. Available where all podcasts are. Adam regularly works with Big Fork Theatre in Brisbane. You can find him in some of the online shows on the Big Fork YouTube channel and also has sketches in the Get It In Ya podcast. If you enjoyed D4WH, please consider jumping onto our Patreon and donating. We release episodes early and, for as little as $5 a month, we release mini episodes in between our normal episodes. D4WH is part of the Nerd Infinite, which can be found at thenerdinfinite.com.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. This has
you
been fun.
so much for joining us, is what I said. I said thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome.
Yes. That's all right.
Thank you for letting us in your podcast room.
Wait, is that a euphemism? No.
Yes. Well, I've got another shirt I can take off later.
Oh, my. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby. I love there was anyway, it was another tangent, but a guy did a Tinder profile where it's like each photo has him taking off another layer of clothing and there's down to his underwear and he's like, don't do it again. And then you flick it again and it's like him, wearing a muscle suit and he's like, don't do it again. And then it's just a skeleton. Oh, it's great. Anyway, until next time, keep searching the skies for the Doctor. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
This has been a production of the Nerd Infinite. And then the sound of dragons spitting fire and stuff. What? Why are you looking at me like that?